welcome to my channel. I'm Elaine. Today we're going to do the final flip through of my 2019 reading journal. I'm so sad to see it go because I loved filling it so much, but I have my 2021 almost ready to go. So yeah, we're going to have a look at what it's like now that the year is over. There is one section that I have not finished. I have some images that I wanted to print off for it coming in the post and they haven't arrived yet. We won't go into too much detail about the front of it because I did go into a lot of detail about all of that in my earlier video during the year. I think it was like my mid-year flip through. So you can check that out. I will link it up above. Does it go there? Does it go there? I'm not sure. We'll link it up above. It's quite different to how it was in that video now as well. There's just so much more been added to it. And if you're interested as well, on my blog I have some templates that you can put into your reading journal. I will show them to you in this. I don't have all of them printed in this because I don't have a printer. So but I do love making stuff like that. So I do have some templates and printables on my blog, which I will leave a link to down below, and you can get them. There's no charge or anything for them. They're just there for free. You can download them anytime you want, as many times as you want. So yeah, with all that being said, I will flip you around now and then we will have a look at the journal. Now, here we go. I'm freezing. My hands are like ice, so I may be taking my hands away every now and then to rub my fingers together. Anyway, here's my journal, here's the cover. I made this kind of with decoupage kind of a style, PVA glue and loads of tissue paper that was patterned with writing. So there's several layers of it on the cover to get it to you know, so that you couldn't see the refill pad cover. I used a refill pad to make this, and the refill pad had like a blue cover on it. It was not very nice, so I made this cover with it, and I kind of made it too tightly there, and it ended up like with this weird crease. Now we get in focus. You can see it ended up with this weird kind of a crease on it. It kind of doubled over, but that ended up working out well for me because it gave me a bit of a thicker spine, so I could add more into the journal, because I ended up adding quite a few things into it and I needed that little bit of extra. So on the very first page, which is this one, it's just this plain pattern. There's no information at all. It's just this here because I wanted it to be like the marbling inside an old book. And that's what this reminded me of, so that's what our very first page is. And it also adds in the little bit there that I lost when I accidentally curved over the cover there. So that's what that is. And then the first section with information is my envelopes with my favorite book from each month inside them. And then at the end of this month, December, I will choose a book of the year from each of these. Each envelope has 3 books listed in it, one for each month. So that's that section. And this is just patterned paper again and some washi tape going down the middle because it was starting to curl just here, so I just put that in. Now yeah, I'm not going into detail in this section, but I have changed it from my last flip through where I've added a few little embellishments. And these are all stuck down, like these are book covers of some of my favorite books that I read at that time. So like I have Arcana Rising is just there, so I stuck a picture of the book over it, and it's just a piece of tape on the top and a piece of tape just there so that I can flip it up and down and still see the information underneath the image there. And that's the way each of those are. And then I stuck in these butterflies, only sticking this part, like their bodies, so you can lift up the wings and see what's written underneath. So just to make the pages more interesting, because they were just this huge block of like white and writing and lines, and I didn't find it very pleasing to the eye, so I added a few little bits in each section. This one is just some ribbon and some what you call these, feathers, and this one is again pictures. And I went into detail what each of these sections are. So it's like the book series, author, genre, tags, themes, format, pages, and then my rating, the dates read, ownership, whether it was reviewed, if it was a reread, book club, reading challenge, and what page it is inside this book. So again, more embellishments where there was no information, they were all just dashes. So, and more book covers. So I have a few pages for the list of books. Here I just put these travel stickers on because I was in the Canaries when I read those books. And this is where I am at the moment. There's actually 2 books missing from there. And yeah, the last book. So I thought I made way too many pages for this, but I've actually come to the last page and I've started writing on it. I was surprised. So the next section then after that is I have a graph of genres that I read. So I actually haven't filled this in a few months, and I'm not going to bother filling it in because it's enough as it is at a glance. Like, I know that I've read a crazy amount more urban fantasy, so that genre dominates. And to be fair, I could have just told you that, like, I knew that myself, you know. And I decorated it using a page from a magazine from, what's it called, Daphne's Diary. All the pages tend to have these nice patterns and stuff on them, so that is cut from that. And then the next section is my Romanceopoly section, and these tabs I made them just from using like index tabs that I bought in a shop, and I used them as templates and created them using a cardstock patterned paper. So this is like, it's kind of like a brown paper texture, and then it's kind of blue on the other side, which you can't see because I went out of the frame. But yeah, it's just like colored patterned paper. And I used patterned paper to be like a book cover and added these little embellishments. And on each tab, I have one of my Instagram photos. So I'll put that up if you can see. Oh, I hit the tripod. Yeah, you'll be able to see. Okay, we'll just look down here. So each tab has one of my Instagram photos on it. And then this is my Romanceopoly board, which I am nowhere near finishing. I'm not going to get it done this year. There's only a week left in the year, so not a chance. But there was my board that I made for it, and this is my tracking. So I had all the pages were blank, and I just didn't like all the white. So I added this page from a coloring book, and then I have some quotes from the song that she sings in The Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, we're simply meant to be. I thought it would go with, you know, the romance theme of that challenge. Then I have another coloring book page there and another one there. And it was just to add color and to be like the pink and stuff like that, just to go with the Romanceopoly board. There's my tracking for Romanceopoly and another coloring book page. And then this was all empty, so I just added in a few little love things. And so the next section then is my reading goal. I have this photo on the tab, and yeah, here is my reading goal wall. So it's completed. My goal was 80, and so far I've read 99, so one more book to the 100, which is a nice round number to finish off the year. So that's that section. And then here we started my reading plans, and this is just a cover section. I added these little note paper and just some other little decorative pieces, some ephemera and some washi tape down the side just to decorate it. I really love this page, and I didn't really want to cover over it, but I'm happy with how it looks anyway. I think this kind of goes with it. And another one of my Instagram photos. And then we have another graph on the back of it. This is my TBRs. This goes into my TBRs. And so we have another graph, which is my TBR, the amount of books that I had on it, and then the amount of books that I read and the amount of books that were actually on my TBR that I read. So it's usually very big difference in between those all. And so these are my TBRs. And each month, like, I just wrote in the books I wanted to read, and then later on in the year, I started writing down on this page what readathons and reading challenges and stuff like that I was doing as well. So these pages are like super messy. I was decorating them like Lady Cottington's Pressed Berry book, which is like this real messy watercolor look to it. So that's what I was going for. That's why it's all splotches and stuff like that. Yeah, let me see, in December we've got this big water line, lots of drips and splats and stuff like that. And at the back of that then, just to finish it off, I have some paintings cut from a magazine. I think it's, what's his name, Monet or Manet? I think it's Monet. That guy anyway. He was doing all the watercolors of flowers and stuff. And then the next section is my wrap-ups, and I used the same cover for that just because I liked it. And we have another graph, which is my monthly reading totals. Each line is 1. So there we go. May was a serious reading month in May. I have no idea what was going on in May. July, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it in July. I read Pride and Prejudice in July. Yeah. And then my wrap-ups. And I decided to add like just like a collage page next to each wrap-up. And sometimes if I've had them printed, I included a book that was read that month. Jane Austen July, so Pride and Prejudice, Unequal Affections, and then this is from that movie where Anne Hathaway plays Jane Austen. I think it's called Becoming Jane. So yeah, all about Jane Austen. And this is a quote from one of the books that I read in August. And I picked just this. I got these napkins to go with autumn, so that's what that is. I can lift off. This is a full page cut out from Daphne's Diary, all about autumn. And then this is just this little book that was in Daphne's Diary about finishing up 2019 and thinking about 2020, so I just stuck that in there. I haven't written anything in it yet, but I mightn't even write anything in it. And my extremely small wrap-up for December so far. And then next we have the section that takes up the bulk of the book, which is the reviews. And this is straightforward. I went into it in the other one, and I just added this collage page to it and with a quote from Jane Austen. And this is like, it's all these pages, it's all mini reviews of everything that I read. And in some of the sections, not all of them, like I added this colouring to the edges on all of the pages, and some of them have these little stickers added to them as well if a book, just for a book that really stood out to me. So something I really enjoyed got a sticker next to it. Not necessarily related to the book because I didn't always have stickers that related, but that kind of goes with Pride and Prejudice, I think. Most of the time though, they won't be connected because I just don't have stickers that goes with everything. And then next is the study section. This is the one that's not finished because I'm waiting on things to come for me to do it up. So I'll show it to you next year, just this section, nothing to do with the rest of the book. We might do like a journal with me where I'm filling in this section. It's a really small section and it's just focusing on 3 books. So inside this envelope I have the cards that I made that are blank still at the moment, but they will have the 3 books that I have sectioned on them. Just a very quick little thing, and they will go in there. I love these. I'm gonna have to make more of these actually, cards like this for my new journal. I really like them. so that's in there. Another one of my Instagram photos. And then the books that I've picked, I made little tabs for them. I need a clip. I made little tabs for them. So it's the English Patient, North and South, and Far from the Madding Crowd. So I made these little tabs just using, I think, a piece of scrap paper and some washi tape. So it's like a piece of scrap paper that I wrote the like card paper to make it stronger. So the book title is there, really small because I didn't want them to come out as far as these tabs. And then washi tape just to stick it down. So the way I'm doing this is I'm just writing my thoughts on the book, just what I feel like. I'm writing down some quotes and taking some pictures and just scribbling all sorts of stuff about the book. Each one of those gets it, but they're not started because I'm waiting on the pictures to come. I just had some of this and stamps, and I'll be just throwing in loads of little stuff, whatever I feel like about the books in that section. And now we go on to my series tracking. So this, I read a lot of series. This is just another page from Daphne's diary. Yeah, I read an insane amount of series. Series are my bread and butter. So I made this template for tracking them, and I would need so many copies of that tracker because I just read so many series, and I read a lot of series with a lot of books in them. So like 20 plus books published. So I need a lot of coffee beans to track my series. So I printed a few of these and just filled them in for these series, decorated the page with some washi tape and some pencils. And that's just those series, just because there were so many books in them, I couldn't really use them for how I was tracking the rest of my series, which is this way. And so I made a collage about the series on this page. So I have the book, I have some, these are all my Instagram photos again as well. So a book cover, some pictures of me just reading, and a quote from the book. And then I have the series title and author, the books in order published so far. And then I drew this like pile of books and colored in as far as I've read. And then I have, I think the color isn't really coming up on the camera, but they're colored in like really lightly. And then the ones that are plain are what I have to read still. And then this is a list of the short stories that are in the series. So I wouldn't really like count them as being required reading for a series. I usually read them, but they're not necessary. So this is the next one. You see the more books that were in the series, the smaller I had to make the stack of books. And this series is completed. So I've read all of them, and yeah, all of the books are colored. I don't know if you can see that at all on the camera. It's very lightly colored in. I think it'll be heavier this year. And my favorite series. So this, I really liked doing them this way, so it's something I'm gonna take into 2020 with me. It was a lot of fun to do this. And that's it. That's the journal. The last, they're just blank pages. I could have added more series and stuff if I wanted to. And then there's just where I tested pens and stuff like that, ink pads and patterns. And then I added that page at the very back just so it wasn't this grey piece of card. So that's the book. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas for your journal. I love doing the reading journal. I think it's a lot of fun. So I hope you got some ideas for this, from this rather. I will have a flip through of my 2020 reading journal soon. I kind of have some new ideas for it since I started it, so I might be making some little changes to it. So it'll probably be in January by the time I have my flip through of that ready to go. But I hope you enjoyed this video anyway of my 2019 journal. If you did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one.